Shalom Akim. Call Holo Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi Bahashem Yahawashi. Shalom to the Akim out there that's pushing the truth, that's laboring in the word, and that's pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's soon to come. Shalom to the Akwah that's listening in, that's remaining true to the faith and remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands and guiding their children. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes that scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and blessings to you all. Barakatham. Alright, so what we got here, man, this is the funniest thing. I was literally about to make a lesson on these vaccines that's coming, but then I come across this, then I come across that, and it's like, man, prophecies popping off, man. Prophecies popping off. I'm about to, you know what? Let's start off with this article right here. This Tyler Perry's Thanksgiving giveaway causes havoc in Atlanta as thousands wait 16 hours in line of cars stretching 12 miles to claim one of the 5,000 freed food parcels, check this, that ran out in 2 hours. In 2 hours. Let's get with this one. Let's start with this one. Let's let this load up. Here we go. In 2 hours. This is Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry, who in 2011 was the highest paid man in entertainment, made the generous gift on Sunday. People queued up for 16 hours in their cars in a 12-mile line to get a box of non-perishable Thanksgiving foods. Inside the boxes were tins of vegetables and boxed mac and cheese, plus a $25 voucher. Those who missed out on the 5,000 boxes were given $50 vouchers at Perry's Atlanta studios. Let's look at this. I don't want to see this dude. Look at that. Look at that. For 12 miles. For 12 miles. How much you want to bet that fight started out? How much you want to bet that fight was going down over there? We're seeing a sedition among men. We're seeing the beginning of, you know what, let me start off with, let's go to, I believe it's in Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter. This is Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 9. Let's start at verse 8. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. Even to the skies. Man, this thing's about to get busy. This thing's about to get heavy. Ain't no more running around. Ain't no more running from place to place no more, man. Everything's about to be locked down. You know what I'm saying? They keep teasing everybody, talking about, oh, it's gonna come back to normal. No, man, ain't gonna be no normal. There's no such thing as normal anymore. No such thing as normal. You see what I'm saying? Let's go to chapter. Let's see. You know, no, I don't want to get there. Salakia. This is Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 19, verse 1. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, Yahawah rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom, and kingdom against kingdom. This thing's about to get heavy real soon, man. It's about to be mayhem and chaos. About to be mayhem and chaos, man. Like I said, how much you want to bet? How much you want to bet fights was breaking out over there? You see what I'm saying? Look at these car doors. Jokers got their doors open and stuff. How much you want to bet? There was fighting going on. I mean, look, these cars is all stacked up out of place. Look at this, man. Traffic was snarled up as tired people, some of whom spent the night in their cars, waited for their free food. A famine's coming, man. A famine's coming, and all these jakes out here that keep talking about they kept talking about there's not going to be no famine, you know what I'm saying? There's not going to be no famine. There's not going to be no famine. There's not going to be no food shortage. Now all of a sudden they ain't talking no more. They sitting in line for like 16 hours. They waiting in line over in Texas somewhere. Now all of a sudden they looking at store shelves being empty. Now they singing a new tune. They singing a different tune. You see what I'm saying? Let's get the book of Isaiah. Not Isaiah. This is the book of 2nd Esdras. Let's get 2nd Esdras. Second Esdras chapter, chapter 15. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verse 19. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread. Because of the lack of bread. And for great tribulation. This thing's about to get real soon. It's about to get real. Let's go to Ezekiel. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 5, verse 16. It says, when I shall send upon them, the evil arrows of famine. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread. Ain't gonna be no more happy times. No more happy times, no more jolly times, man. It's gonna be devastation. It's gonna be devastation. Alright, so let's go back. Let's get another article I saw. I mean, look at that. Jeez. Salakia. Salakia. Let's go to this one here. Operation Warp Speed Chief. Oh, shit. Operation Warp Speed Chief says the first Americans could be given Pfizer vaccine as early as December the 11th, and life could go back to normal by May, with up to 70% of the nation immunized. I remember watching old school Tom and Jerry cartoons, right? And I remember this one episode of Tom and Jerry. The guy was like, Tom was like, "Don't you believe it?" That's what that's what I'm saying right now. I'm saying, "Don't you believe him?" Simple as that. Don't you believe him? This is Proverbs chapter 26, verse 24. It says, "He that hateth dissembleth with his lips, and layeth up deceit within him. When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart." Let's jump down. Let's jump down to verse 28. It says, "A lying tongue hateth those that are afflicted by it, and a flattering mouth worketh ruin." This thing's about to go down, man. And I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of these Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians, man, a lot of these 2/3 is about to be jacked the hell up real soon. They about to be jacked the hell up, man. When they go to jab these things in your arm, it's gonna be nothing but straight up devastation. Straight up devastation, man. Let's see, what's this? It says New Jersey police chief will not enforce the governor's draconian coronavirus order limiting holiday gatherings to 10 people because it's detrimental to our relationship with our communities. What's that sound like? What's that sound like? That sounds like sedition. That sounds like sedition. The police chief is going to disobey the orders of the governor and the mayor. The police chief. That sounds like sedition. Let's see if we can find that. Let's see. This is Second Esdras. Second Esdras. Back to chapter 15. Second Esdras chapter 15, verse 15. It says, "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." You're looking at the sedition, man. You're looking at the disobedience, the what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it right now. Insolence. 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 As a matter of fact, let's look that word up. Let's look that word up. Insolence. Insolence. To treat with haughty contempt, overbearing or defiant behavior, scornful or presumptuous treatment of others. We're looking at overbearing and defiant behavior from this police chief, right? Right? So let's go here. This is one of the articles that was shared by one of the brothers from the GMS camp. It's being circulated among the brotherhood, man. So we need to get into this. We need to get into this, man, because we are the watchmen. We need to remain watchful. Let's see. It says, "First and foremost, I encourage the reader to watch this short video in which Dr. Carrie Madej explains the mRNA vaccine in terms that we can understand. She is a brave woman to openly expose the dangerous DNA changing vaccines. And this is an excellent video, by the way. Yes, you should go and watch this. You should go and watch that. Look it up on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Look up this woman, because she telling the straight up truth, man. She's telling on her own. Let's get that. This is Psalms. Psalms, I believe the 64th chapter. Yeah. This is Psalms chapter 64, verse 8. It says, "So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And all men shall fear and shall declare the work of Yahawah. For they shall wisely consider of his doings." It's the Most High doing all this. It's the Most High that's making these people telling them on their own people. You see what I'm saying? It's just one Edomite exposing the Edomites. That's all it is. That's all it is. The Most High is pushing up. The Most High has got this vaccine coming out, man. You don't believe me? Scriptures say the deceived and the deceiver are his. He has created the smith. Let's get this. This is Job chapter 12. Job chapter 12, verse 16. It says, "With him is strength and wisdom. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his." He's the one that controls both sides. The Most High is the one that controls both sides, man. This is a balance. This is the balance. As it is written in Proverbs chapter 11, verse 1. This is a balance, man. And the Most High is all about balance. Balance. He created the smith to bring forth all this destruction. So let's get into this article, man. Let's see. I'm gonna try not to make this too long, man, because this is a long read. It's a real big read. So let's get into that. It says, in a bid to try and battle the ongoing Wuhan coronavirus pandemic, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA, is funding the development of an implantable biochip that could be deployed as soon as next year. As soon as next year. Call hello, Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, man. We almost out of here. The plagues are here. The prophecies are jumping out the pages, man. The chip is said to be able to deploy an experimental new vaccine developed jointly by Moderna and the U.S. government that could change human DNA. The chip in the vaccine built on a breakthrough made by then Harvard University professor and eventual Moderna co-founder Derek Rossi in 2010. In its discovery, which the now retired scientist says came about purely by accident, Rossi claimed that he found a way to, quote, reprogram messenger ribonucleic acid, the molecules that carry genetic instructions for cellular development in the human body. The promise provided by this Rossini's breakthrough was such that it allowed him to co-found Moderna with private equity firm Flagship Pioneering. The company then attracted almost $500 million from the federal government to begin developing vaccines using the new technology. So this is all the way back then. This is all the way from back then. In a preliminary report last July, funded by the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases and the National Institute of Health, Moderna's mRNA 1273 vaccine was found to have induced anti-SARS-CoV-2 immune responses in all participants, and no trial-limiting safety concerns were identified. Despite this, however, One obstacle to the development of Moderna's vaccine is the method of delivery. While Moderna is developing its own system, it's unlikely to get Food and Drug Administration approval at any time. Enter Profusa, which is developing a nanoscale biochip that can detect symptoms of an infection. It says Profusa's biochip is made using a technology called hydrogels that were a product of the in vivo nanoplatforms program that DARPA's Biological Technologies Office launched in 2014 to develop implantable nanotechnologies. These hydrogels are soft, flexible nanomachines that are injected beneath the skin to perform monitoring. This hydrogel includes a specially engineered molecule that sends a fluorescent signal outside the body when it begins to fight infection. This signal can then be detected by a sensor attached to the skin that can then be sent to an app or even to a doctor's website. All right, so let's skip down. Look at that. He's holding the chip. He's holding the chip. Before we go forward, let me get that scripture. Let's get the scripture, man. This is Revelations chapter 13, verse 16. We cannot talk about this without getting this scripture, man. Revelations chapter 13, verse 16. It says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he had the mark, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. That's why they got you doing this 6 feet apart, six feet apart here, 6 feet apart there, blah blah blah. That's why the patent for this new currency that's coming out, along with these vaccines and whatnot, it's all 666, right? HR 6666. Look it up. House bill, the House bill from the House of Representatives. 4 6s. Go ahead, look that up. It says the most significant scientific discovery since gravity has been hiding in plain sight for nearly a decade, and its destructive potential to humanity is so enormous that the biggest war machine on the planet immediately deployed its vast resources to possess and control it, financing its research and development through agencies like the NIH, the agency of DARPA, and the HHS BARDA. The revolutionary breakthrough came to a Canadian scientist named Derek Rossi in 2010. We just read about him. The Harvard professor who claimed in an interview with the National Post that he found a way to reprogram the molecules that carry the genetic instructions for cellular development in the human body, not to mention all biological life forms. These molecules are called messenger ribonucleic acid, and the newfound ability to rewrite those instructions to produce any kind of cell within a biological organism has radically changed the course of Western medicine and science, even if no one has really noticed it yet. This is why the scriptures say that you will be punished if you take this. You will be punished if you take this chip, if you get this mark. When you look into that word, mark, it translates to Greek charagma. Charagma, which means an imprinted mark or an incision into your skin. You see what I'm saying? And you will not be able to buy or sell without this mark. This thing that's going inside of your body. What did it say? It said it goes into the surface of the skin. Let's read this. This is Revelation chapter 14, verse 9. It says, "And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture, into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb." This thing's gonna happen, man. This thing's going to happen. This thing's going to happen, and everyone on the planet is going to be tested. Everyone on the planet is going to be tested for this. They're going to be tested. Their faith is going to be tested like never before, man. This is Revelation chapter 13. Salaki. This is Revelation chapter 3. Verse 10, it says, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell on the earth." Everyone's going to be tried. Everyone's going to be tried, man. Tested in the spirit. Where do you really stand? Where do you really stand? You stand on the Most High side, or you stand on Esau's side? You know what I'm saying? Where you stand in this? Check this. It says, as early as 2006, DARPA was already researching how to identify viral upper respiratory pathogens through its Predicting Health and Disease program, which led to the creation of the agency's Biological Technologies Office, as reported by Whitney Webb in a May article for The Last American Vagabond. In 2014, DARPA's BTO launched its Vivo Nano Platforms program, which researches implantable nanotechnologies leading to the development of hydrogel. Alright. It says, once firmly implanted inside the body, human cells are at the mercy of any mRNA program delivered via this substrate, unleashing a nightmare of possibilities. It is perhaps the first true step towards full-on transhumanism, a philosophy that is in vogue with many powerful and influential people such as Google's Ray Kurzweil and Eric Schmidt, and whose proponents see the fusion of technology and biology as an inevitable consequence of human progress. Esau wants to have control over you. These Edomites want to have control over you all. That's what they want. Control. And I guarantee you, many people are going to die from this vaccine. And this vaccine is only going to lead the way into the microchip that's coming. It's all right here. It's all in plain sight. If you cannot see it, then that's your ass. That's your ass. If you cannot see it by now, that's your ass. It says the private company created to market this technology that allows for biological processes to be controlled remotely and opens the door to the potential manipulation of our biological responses and ultimately our entire existence. It's called Profusa Incorporated, and its operations are funded with millions from NIH and DARPA. In March, the company was quietly inserted into the crowded C-19 bazaar in March 2020. When it announced an injectable biochip for the detection of viral respiratory diseases, including C-19. It says this next article really caught my attention. These bad actors on the world stage are not even trying to hide anything from the public. I believe that this has happened because of the fear tactic, and that's true. That's true. You got people like like Kevin Trudeau from Canada. He's just straight out saying what's going on, man. He's just straight out saying it. You got the World Health Organization, nah, Salakia. This is I'm talking about the World Economic Forum. Yeah, the World Economic Forum. They're straight up talking about a reset, the Great Reset. You look that up, the Great Reset, and they're gonna bring that out. They're gonna try and bring that out through this microchip, man. That's what 5G is all about. It's not about your phones being faster. It's not about that. It's about you. You see what I'm saying? It's about you. It says many people who have given up their liberties and have cloistered themselves in their homes are terrified. Klaus Schwab is the head of the World Economic Forum. This man is salivating over the coming New World Order. And what are they saying now? They're being open and blatant with these things now. So what are they saying? They're saying that the New World Order begins with you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians so-called being vaccinated first. Why? Because the Israelites are the targets. The Israelites are the targets. And that would be you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians. It says Klaus Schwab says the Great Reset will lead to our fusion of our physical, digital, and biological identity. Salakia. Globalist Klaus Schwab made it clear that transhumanism is an integral part of the Great Reset, quote unquote, when he said that the fourth industrial revolution would, quote, lead to a fusion of our physical, digital, and biological identity, unquote, which in his book he clarifies is implantable microchips that can read your thoughts. As we highlighted earlier, the Great Reset is attracting a deluge of fresh attention in the aftermath of the coronavirus pandemic, which Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said was an opportunity for a reset. The agenda is primarily based around dismantling the current capitalist system in favor of greater centralized technocratic rule, which will lead to lower living standards, less fuel consumption, fewer civil liberties, and the accelerated automation of jobs. However, another key aspect to the Great Reset, or the Fourth Industrial Revolution as Schwab calls it, is merging man with machine. And they're doing this right now, by the way. They're doing this right now. They're getting you all prepared for this. They've been doing that. They've been getting you prepared through their movies in Hollywood. They're getting you prepared through their video games. For example, the one video game that just came out is coming out right now is Cyberpunk. I forget what it is, Cyberpunk 2077 or whatever, but yeah, it's preparing you for that. It's preparing you to accept these things. They're about to roll this out heavy next year. Heavy. But it all starts with these jabs that's supposed to be happening in your arm, man. These jabs. See what I'm saying? It starts with the vaccines. That's where it starts. Schwab went on to explain how his book, Shaping the Future of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, was particularly popular in China, South Korea, and Japan, with the South Korean military alone purchasing 16,000 copies. In the book, he explains with excitement how upcoming technology will allow authorities to, quote, intrude into the hitherto private spaces of your minds, reading our thoughts and influencing our behavior. You see what I'm saying? This is why the scriptures say what they say. This is why Revelations chapter 14, verse 9 says what it says. Let me read that again. It says, And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of power, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. This is going to happen, man. This is going to happen. The Most High is moving. The Most High is moving now, man. Let me get that in 2nd Esdras. Get that in 2nd Esdras. Chapter... chapter 15. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verse 8. It says, you know what, let me see. Let's start with verse 5. It says, Behold, saith Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon this world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. This is exceeding wickedness. This is exceeding pollution. You see what I'm saying? Exceeding pollution. Esau's not just trying to destroy y'all. He's trying to put you under his control. He's trying to alter who you are. He's trying to be the Most High. He's trying to be the Most High. He wants to know your thoughts. He wants to know how you think. He wants to know what you're thinking. He wants to know what you're doing at all times. He wants to be omnipresent, if you will. It says, Behold, saith Yahweh, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, saith Yahweh, I will hold my tongue no more, as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things, in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. Let's see. There was another one I wanted. Salakia. Let me find this. You know, I'm going to leave that for another time. But let's continue. It says, this article, it says, he goes on to predict that this will provide an incentive for law enforcement to implement minority report style pre-crime programs. In other words, you know how hard they go on, you know how hard they come down on Jake, you know what I'm saying, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians, you know how hard they come down on so-called black people. Imagine that. And they have this technology where they can read your thoughts, where they can read everything about you. Imagine that. As capabilities in this area improve, the temptation for law enforcement agencies and courts to use techniques to determine the likelihood of criminal activity, assess guilt, or even possibly retrieve memories directly from people's brains will increase, says Schwab. Even crossing a national border might one day involve a detailed brain scan to assess an individual's security risk. Alright, these jokers is coming, man. These jokers is coming. So as you can see, the plagues is coming. As a matter of fact, the plagues is here. So the plagues are here. You know what I'm saying? The prophecies are playing out. And there's no more denying this. There's no more denying this. There's no more denying this thing. Let's get, let's see. I believe it's Ezekiel. I believe it's Ezekiel I want. Ezekiel. There we go. This is Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 33, and it says, "And when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them, and the prophets has been among this world." You know what I'm saying? The Most High sent out his prophets from every stretch of the globe, man, and they have reached it, and they have reached the gates of the nobles. The truth has gone out, and now comes the end, man. Now comes the end. The end is here. The end is here. Esau's about to be unleashed. He's about to play his final card. He's got his soldiers up in space, right? Just a couple days ago, they had a couple soldiers going to the International Space Station. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can find that. Army astronaut receives rare prestigious qualifications. Let's see. Colonel aboard space station to enlist 800 Army recruits. Yeah, Saul smiles now. Not for long, man, damn it. Not for long. Alright, so this was 4 days ago. It says the Army astronaut receives rare prestigious qualification device. Army astronaut Lieutenant Colonel Ann McLean received the Army astronaut device from General James Dickinson, commander of U.S. Space Command, during a brief ceremony at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. McLean is currently the only active duty soldier who has been presented the device. Considered the rarest qualification device any Army soldier can receive for wear on her service uniform. McLean became eligible for the device following her 204 days mission to the International Space Station as a flight engineer for NASA expeditions. Doesn't really say what this device does, but in any case, yeah, they got their soldiers out in space, man. They got their soldiers out in space. They about to get ready to do this. Man. Let's go to Daniel. This is Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. It says, and through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hands, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. Like it says, with these jabs that they're going to put in your arms, a lot of people are going to die. They're going to perish from this inoculation, man. These vaccines about to kill many people. It says he shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. You see, now they got their space force ready. They ready to fight against the prince of princes, but this is gonna end horribly for them. Horribly. Alright. So I didn't want to make this too long, man. I know this dragged out a bit, but I pray you were edified, man. I pray you were edified. I want to say, call halal, Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Harakakadash. Shalom to the Akim out there that's pushing the truth, that's laboring in the word, and that's pushing the gospel of the great kingdom that's soon to come. Shalom to the Akwat that's listening in, that's remaining true to the faith, and remaining faithful and submissive to their husbands, and guiding their children. Shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and blessings to you all. Barakatah. Shalom.